Crosley Green was mowing his sister's lawn when police came for him, accusing him of a murder he didn't commit. No weapon, no fingerprints, no motive, just one witness, and a story that didn't make sense. What followed was a 30-year nightmare inside Florida's justice system. This is the true story of Crosley Green's hard time, how a man was convicted, released and sent back to prison, all without a shred of physical evidence. In the quiet town of Mims, Florida, where orange groves stretch for miles and the nights fall silent, a man named Crosley Green was trying to rebuild his life. He had made mistakes, nothing violent but enough to keep his name in local police files. He was working odd jobs, fixing cars, keeping to himself. But in April of 1989, his life would be shattered by a phone call he never made, for a crime he swore he never committed. This is the story of Crosley Green, and the hard time he paid for someone else's crime. On the night of April 4th, 1989, a 22-year-old man named Charles Chip Flynn was found shot in a citrus grove just outside town. He had been kidnapped, driven to a remote location, and left to die. When police arrived, he was barely alive. He whispered one thing: "They shot me." He didn't name names. The only witness was Kim Halleck, a former girlfriend. She told investigators she and Chip were parked at a park when a black man with a gun forced them into Flynn's truck. She said the man drove them to the grove, shot Chip, then fled. She claimed she escaped, ran to a nearby house, and called for help. Police had no physical evidence, no fingerprints, no murder weapon, no DNA, but they had a description: a black man. That was enough. Someone mentioned Crosley Green, a known name, familiar face. He fit the vague description. That was all it took. Months after the murder, Crosley Green was arrested. There were no witnesses who had seen him at the scene. In fact, he had alibis. The prosecutors had something else. Jailhouse informants, 3 of them. Each claimed Crosley confessed behind bars. Later, 2 of them recanted. One admitted to lying for a reduced sentence, but at the time, their stories were enough. Kim Halleck's testimony sealed it. She pointed at Crosley and said, "That's the man who kidnapped us. No fingerprints, no footprints, no blood." Still, the jury deliberated. It didn't take long. Crosley Green was found guilty and sentenced to death. He was 32 years old. Green spent the next 19 years on death row in a 6 by 9 foot cell. He read the Bible. He lifted weights. He waited. In 2009, a judge overturned his death sentence, citing improper jury selection, but Crosley wasn't free. He was resentenced to life in prison. The truth, however, was starting to unravel. 2 prosecutors from the original case stepped forward. It revealed a hidden truth documents the defense had never seen. In those pages, detectives had questioned whether Kim Halleck was telling the truth. The crime scene didn't match her story. The timeline didn't add up. The ballistics didn't make sense. None of this had been shared with Crosley's lawyers. It was a stunning revelation. In 2018, a federal judge overturned Crosley Green's conviction, calling the case deeply flawed. He was finally released after 30 years. He walked out of prison, smiling, wearing jeans and a t-shirt, into the arms of his family. But freedom came with a catch. He wasn't exonerated. The state of Florida appealed the decision. While the legal battle continued, Crosley lived like a man on borrowed time, working in construction, going to church, checking in with his parole officer. He could only stay free if the appeal failed. In 2022, the worst happened. The federal appeals court reinstated his conviction. The state demanded he return to prison. He was 65. In April of 2023, Crosley Green turned himself in. After tasting freedom for just over 2 years, he was once again behind bars. He has always maintained his innocence. The state still considers him a convicted killer. But across the country, legal experts, former prosecutors, and journalists say otherwise. They say it was a wrongful conviction built on shaky witness testimony and jailhouse lies. No physical evidence. No confession. Just a name. Today, Crosley Green sits in a Florida prison, still fighting for a new trial. Still waiting for a justice system that took 30 years of his life to admit it might have made a mistake.